Okay, guys, welcome to Halloween night call. Again, I was just saying that majority of our team is probably out with the kiddos or giving candy to the kids. We just turned our lights off a few minutes ago because it's dark, and I think the rest of our neighborhood dies down around 8. So your neighborhood's probably different, and some of you are not on the East Coast time. So the fact that we're small tonight, that's okay. And we have a guest speaker, which we're very, very fortunate to have tonight. But first, we know that double time actually started today, so we can get creative somehow in our team page on sharing this with other people who have children who can pair this with their spouse or whatever it is. It's going to be really, really awesome. I'm excited about sharing health and fitness with children, and this is a whole new market of helping other people, so that's really, really cool. The challenge pack will be 3 points this month, so if you're wanting to achieve Success Club, you help 2 people with a double time challenge pack, and then boom, there you go. And November to Remember is basically like the Team Cup. If you want to get on board, which you should, you need to sign up by November 6th. So I'll post all this on the team page. I want to just do a quick reminder, and let's go ahead really quickly, bear with me, and introduce our guest speaker, Stephanie Snyder. Okay, so you guys check all of this out and just let it sink in for a second, okay? She's a Navy wife, mother of 4. Her son is 10, daughters are 8, 2.5, and 2 months. Okay? In August, she finished with her PhD in education and now working as a coach full-time. She has achieved 35 months in Success Club. So we all know what a big deal that is. So needless to say, she has nothing on her plate and at all. Like, she is not busy. She has nothing going on, and that's why she's on our call tonight, because she had nothing better to do. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm going to just let you have the floor and do y'all thing. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if it will let me. I do have a little slideshow because I'm a bit of a nerd, but I don't talk from the slideshow, so you're only going to see really the bare minimum. So can you all see that okay? Yes, okay, thumbs up, perfect. All right, so overwhelmed to overjoyed. This is a project that I have apparently been working on for years, but finally decided to put it together. Melissa knows all of that backstory as she is my accountability partner. But let's go ahead and dive in, if my mouse will work. Okay, so who am I? I am a mother of 4 currently. You can see kind of a picture of them there. That was when the baby was about 4 days old on the first day of school. So she is 2 months as of yesterday. I am a Navy wife. We've been in Virginia Beach now for 5 years, which is a really long time for us. My kids are ready to move already, but hopefully we'll be here a little bit longer. I am a PhD graduate, just finished that up in August, 2 weeks before the baby was born. Avid gardener and lover of life in general. Give me 1 second. Sorry, that was my little one who came creeping out of her bedroom. Such is life. All right, so that's a little bit about me. And then we'll go over to this next page if it's going to let me do it the right way. Let's see. I don't know. Bear with me for a second. It worked earlier. Okay. There we go. Okay, so overwhelmed. When I was a mother of 2, we had just moved back from Sicily, where I had a full-time husband. He did not deploy for the 3 years that we were in Sicily. I had him home for dinner every night. It was a beautiful thing. And then in 2012, we came back stateside, and he was immediately thrown into deployment schedules. So the first year that we were back stateside, he was gone 270 days out of the year. So that left me with everything. I had started my PhD program in 2012, and I found myself depressed. I was anxious. I was constantly a people pleaser. I said yes to everything. I was a PTA mom. I made homemade cookies regularly. I was that Pinterest mom who did everything and it had to look perfect at all times. And I found myself totally unhappy. I was unmotivated. I didn't know where I had gone. The me that I knew that I loved had disappeared. I was just going through the motions. And I found myself one day eating leftover lunch from my kids yet again. That consisted of chicken nuggets or grilled cheese or macaroni and cheese. And I was it felt gross. And so I drew a line in the sand and I said, enough is enough. I cannot do this anymore. And I started to do some research to find something quick and easy for me to make for lunch. And that is where I found Shakeology. And I started with P90X3 and Shakeology. I hated it the first time I tried it. It was gross. I had the chocolate shake that I mixed with just dairy milk, and it took me 3 days to choke down that shake. It was nasty. But I knew what was in the shake, and I knew that I could find a recipe that I would love. So I just kept trying recipe after recipe after recipe till I found something I loved. And ironically enough, it was green berry, which is a very polarizing flavor, but it was one that I found that I loved. So I continued with Shakeology. Then the 21-day fix came out that following year, and I got great results with that. Started to share a little bit as a coach, and really dove into the personal development side of things. And that is where we get to the overjoyed. So excited about life, happy, joyful, passionate, content, loved, and motivated. These are all things that I think of when I think of someone being overjoyed about life. Just excited about the day, really motivated to take on whatever challenge may come, and not feeling overwhelmed. You can handle your day. You are excited to get out of bed. I know that when I was in that overwhelmed state, there were so many days that it took every part of me to just climb out of bed. And sometimes this can be how you feel about your business. Sometimes you're just totally overwhelmed with all of the things that you think that you should be doing as a Beachbody coach, that you get so overwhelmed that you don't even want to do anything. And so we're going to talk a little bit on the next slide about how to go from feeling overwhelmed in your Beachbody business to being overjoyed and excited to help other people with their health and fitness. And so we're going to start on the next slide. So I don't have a lot of slides, Natalie, so I apologize. I just like to talk with the bullet points. So from overwhelmed to overjoyed. So number one, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. This can be applicable to so many areas of your life. But for one, if cold messaging people doesn't feel good to you, stop doing it, because they're going to feel that vibe, that frequency through your posts, through your messages. They're going to think you're just going through the motions, and they're never going to reach out to you. You're not going to get very far. You may lose a lot of your followers by doing that. And so if it doesn't feel good to cold message people, then don't do it. You're going to get a lot farther in this business doing stuff that feels good, that is rewarding to not only you, but the person that you're helping. Number two, this is one that is huge in any area of your life. You have to set your priorities. If your priorities are out of whack, then you're totally going to be overwhelmed by anything and everything. And you're going to be that people pleaser, because a lot of times, and unfortunately for us women, we feel like we need to help everybody that comes our way. And unfortunately, we can't help everybody and help ourselves. And so getting your priorities in line is something that's really, really important. For me, this means that my top priority is my relationship with God. And then I am number two. Myself, my self-care, my nutrition, my fitness, my exercise, I am the second priority in there, because I can't be the best mom, wife, whatever it is I want to be, if I'm not taking care of myself first. So I'm priority number two. And then my husband's number three, because let's face it, when the kids leave the house, I'm still going to be living with my husband. And so I have to make sure that that relationship is solid and can withstand us being empty nesters at some point. So number four is my children. They come after my husband. And then number five is my business, believe it or not. Like, my kids take a priority over my business. So I don't typically work weekends. I make sure that my work fits into the nap time hustle right now, because I work from home so I can be with my children. And I apologize, the newborn is losing her mind and she's about to come downstairs. She is not happy with you. Sorry. Okay. 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 Sorry about that, Natalie. So this is life. This is life in full force. So then the next one is to learn to manage your time. If you are not good at managing your time, then you're just also going to be totally overwhelmed. One thing that I have done to get really good at managing my time is I set a timer for the tasks that I need to complete during the day. When I first found myself trying to do 900 things and only having 2 hours to do it, I would set a timer. I'd start with 15 minutes to do the laundry, or 15 minutes to clean the bathrooms, or 15 minutes to clean the kitchen. Because the truth was, I was walking from room to room and never getting anything done, because I wasn't focused on the task. There was just, everything in the house needed something to be done, and I just couldn't do it. And so I started timing myself. And you'll be amazed at what you can get done when you only have 10 or 15 minutes to do it. And the other thing, and this is maybe a little TMI, I do a lot in the bathroom, because my children typically don't leave me alone unless I'm in the bathroom. And so I'll get a bunch of stuff done in the morning. Sometimes I lock myself in the bathroom just because my children are driving me crazy and it's the only place that they'll leave me alone. But you can get a lot done if you don't have a lot of time to do it. And so that is, oh, she had a burp. That was the issue. So learning to manage your time can really help you to change from being overwhelmed, because then you don't feel like you're not accomplishing anything during the day. You can actually get stuff done in a shorter period of time and be able to take on more. So that's why, as a mother of 4 now, I am not overwhelmed. Certainly there's days where we have a lot going on, but those days come and go. I certainly don't stress about my calendar anymore, which is a beautiful thing. Then the next one, take time to unplug. This one is just so important. As Beachbody coaches, we often hear some of the top coaches they even, pushing for elite, I know, you guys put in a lot of time to reach those ranks, and that is awesome that you guys are able to do that. That is not something that I can even foresee for myself, because I do this so that my family can see me more often. Now I'm not saying that that's not for somebody else. That's just not something that I can do right now in this stage. Now, maybe when my children are all school-aged, I could certainly spend a lot more time building my business, working my business. But right now, I work around the nap time hustle and the bedtimes. So I do a lot of stuff when my kids are sleeping. But that also means that I don't do a lot on the weekends, because children are very blunt. My now 8-year-old told me a couple years ago that I spent too much time on my computer. And I didn't realize that I was spending so much time on my computer. And so I made it a goal to not work the weekends. It's kind of hard because I'm obsessed with what I do, but I don't work the weekends generally. I'll respond to a couple messages here or there, but I am not reaching out to people generally during the weekend. I know. You're okay, baby. You're okay. Sorry. And then read. Personal development is my lifesaver. If you're not filling up your own cup first, you cannot possibly fill up somebody else's cup. So I read anything and everything and all the time. I play Audible books when I'm in the car. So my kids are getting smarter with their personal development because they're forced to listen to all of it in the car. But at any given time, I'm probably reading about 3 or 4 different books. Because I have a paperback book in my office. I have a Kindle book on my phone. I have an Audible book that I listen to in the car. And so I am constantly reading something. Even when I do laundry. Laundry is a great time to read a book, because I'll stick on an Audible and stick my earpieces in, and I'll get it done while I'm doing the laundry. Then the next one here is learning to say no. This is a tough one. This is really tough for us as people pleasers and as moms, because we feel like we need to do everything and anything because we're superhuman. And the truth is, we're not superhuman. But when you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So if you're saying yes to being on the PTA, or you're saying yes to coaching your kids' soccer team, or you're saying yes to traveling for a weekend for your other job or something, you're saying no to something else. And that really hit home for me when I read that in a book a few years ago, because I was a people pleaser and I said yes to everything under the sun. Somebody wanted me to make them a gluten-free cake, I would make a gluten-free cake. Somebody asked me to put together the newsletter for the school, I'd put together the newsletter for the school. When I was working on my PhD, they asked me to be part of the school government, and I was part of the school government. So there were so many things that I was saying yes to, and I ended up saying no to my family a lot, because I was doing all of these things that were taking me away from the house, from my business, from my family, and it was miserable. And when I learned to say no, it was so amazing to feel that freedom of not being on somebody else's beck and call. And I ended up having more time when I wasn't doing all of these crazy things that didn't align with any of my priorities anyways. There was no reason I needed to be involved in school government, because it did nothing for me, did nothing for my degree, did nothing for my business. Yes, I met some people, but it was more or less a waste of my time. And then number 7 here, listen to your body. So our bodies are these amazing machines that we put through hell most of the time. We don't always pay attention to them unless we've stubbed our toe and then we're screaming about it. But when you wake up and you feel exhausted, it's okay to take a little bit of downtime. And you'll be better off for it if you're resting. So let's think of this in terms of your social media. So when you post on your social media, and we post basically every day as coaches, and we usually try to be really, really upbeat about it. But the truth is that we're not all upbeat like that all the time. Sometimes you feel like crap. And it's okay to take a little bit of a breather for yourself. You're going to feel better about it, and your clients, your customers that you're working with, they're going to feel better about it because you'll be more relatable. So, I know that generally, Sundays I try not to do much posting because it's generally my rest day. I'll not work out, or if I do, it will be a walk around the park with the kids. Something slow, something easy, something to regroup. And it is totally okay to do that. When you think of it in terms of recruiting coaches, yes, it's great to have all these accolades and to show that you're hustling and, to be earning the income and making the money and building the team. But there's a lot of people that want to coach, but on a part-time basis. And so when they see the constant hustle, they may not be attracted to what you're doing as a coach. And so you have to live the life right now that you want to live later. So no, you may not be able to go on exotic vacations that you would like to take now, but at some point, and I'm sure most of us have the goal to chill out at some point and to just relax and to be with our families and to just unwind. And it's okay to do that right now. If you start getting into that routine now, then you're going to attract more people that want that routine because, and I've heard this so many times, you attract what you are, you attract who you are, not who you want to be. So if you're hustling, yeah, you're going to attract some of those people, but I don't know a lot of people that are huge hustlers. I mean, we're kind of a rare breed. And some people aren't ready to dive in head first, like maybe a lot of us were. Think of all the customers or coaches that you had to ask multiple times because they said no to you a dozen times. I know for me, I signed up as a coach, but I did not start working the business right away. I wanted to get results myself. And I feel like I went off on a rabbit trail on that, Natalie, so I apologize. And then the last one here is to find joy. And I forgot to put this on the slide, but I don't know if anyone has seen the Disney movie Inside Out, where they have the 5 little emotional characters. There's joy, there's fear, there's anger, disgust, and sadness. And so what you really need to do is just to find joy in the little things. When you find joy in the small things and you look for those things, one thing I have a lot of my customers do when we're first getting started is a gratitude journal. And I'll have them start their day writing down 3 things that they're thankful for. And it has to be 3 different things every day. But by finding those things that you're thankful for and writing 3 different things down during the day, you end up programming yourself to find more things that you're thankful for during the day. Because what you focus on is what you'll get. So if you're focusing on coming up with 3 things that you're grateful for, you're going to find 3 things during the day that you're grateful for. And things will start to be more positive for you. The reverse is also true. If you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you're convinced that the day is going to be crappy, guess what? You're going to have a crappy day. Or if you start January 1st, we've got New Year's coming up. If somebody is convinced that 2018 is going to be a crappy year for them, it's going to be a crappy year for them. Because they're going to focus on all of these negative things that could happen, will happen, might happen. And that's just not joyful by any means or stretch of the imagination. And so to go from overwhelmed to overjoyed, it may seem like a lot, but if you start with that gratitude journal, you'll be amazed at how quickly you'll start to see the better things happen in your life, because you'll be focusing on those good things and giving less attention to the negative things. So for me, the best thing that I can relate it to, because we all deal with this, is road rage. Road rage is awful. And I have times where I scream and cuss at somebody who's just cut me off. But I have learned very quickly that if I let that fester, it ruins the rest of my day. And that person had 10 seconds of my time? I'm not going to let those 10 seconds of my time ruin the other, 24 hours. I don't know how many seconds are in an hour. I'm not doing the math right now. But I'm not going to let somebody ruin my whole day because they ruined 10 seconds. And so, take that into account the next time you scream and yell about somebody cutting you off. I usually have children in the car, and so I'm very quick to apologize for the screaming and the cussing. And then I just put on a really good song, and we all dance and rock out in the park. And she is not happy. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Okay. Any questions? I rambled a lot. I'm sorry, Natalie.
You did not ramble at all.
Okay. I felt like I did.
No, you were amazing to have a baby crying and just composed the entire time. I would have been completely frazzled. So
Meredith, thank you for the hours. Yes. 23 hours. I was trying to do the math for the seconds, and I was like, it's not happening right now. I'm not computing seconds right now.
Anybody have anything? It was great.
Thank you. It was fairly short and sweet. Perfect.
Yes.
I was worried I was going to ramble. So
no, not at all. I love gratitude journal every day, or having your challengers do that. It's great.
I love that one. And that was a big one that changed really what I was focusing on during the day, because when my husband first deployed, I was thinking of all the woe is me nonsense. And so every day was terrible. And then, and it made me a crappy mother, because I was like, well, this day sucks. And in turn, I feel like my children then had crappy days. And so when you start to pay attention to the good things, you'll get more good things. The same is true in your business. So if you focus on all the people that say no, more people are going to say no.
It's true. Does anybody else have anything? I know she needs to go and take care of her baby. So, may I have anything?
She's cute, but she's fussy.
Aww. It's okay. It's nighttime. It's time to be fussy. Hi. Hi, Angel. Well, thank you so much for your time and your presentation and the call and just everything. Great. I'm actually looking forward to replaying it and watching it again. I like to retain things multiple times. So looking forward to replaying it, and I know the team will be anxious to watch the replay as well. So
thank you
very, very much. And if anyone has any questions outside of this call, then either I'll reach out or
definitely,
or someone else will. So
perfect. Thank you.
So much, and have an amazing rest of the evening, and it's very nice meeting you.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Bye, you guys. Love you.